What I believe is needed is an evolution of the employee assistance programs. Right now, I feel that many organizations have an employee assistance program, to your point, as a check the box. We have it in place. If there's a crisis, this is where you go. We do need to think about and to start to talk more about how we can prevent some of those crises. So what does well-being look like on an ongoing basis? And what is the responsibility of organizations to educate us all and to give us almost the permission to focus on our well-being proactively? So I love the fact that you're talking about communities, right? You're talking about leadership and the organization as a whole, and not just a responsibility of you as an employee, go out and set your boundaries and do yoga. That's a part of it. But how can we as organizations be role models, right? And you're absolutely right about talking about the overall organization as a whole, which brings me to another question around successful integration. I know you've done a lot of work with organizations. Share with me some examples about successful integration of well-being practices into organizations, certainly preserving anything that's confidential, but talk to me about where you've seen successes in an organization and the role that leadership plays in those successes.
Yeah, so good. Well, I love how you brought up the individual self-agency aspect of this well-being, right? And if we go back to this concept of the multi-layered approach, and I think organizations and leaders at organizations really need to look at it through a very multi-tiered, multi-layered approach as they work through this. So if we look at the individual level, the self-agency, I oftentimes love to use metaphors, right? I like the stories and metaphors. They always help me. So I love to use the metaphor of the classic hamster in the wheel.
Ah,
So we can work on to your point, the permission. We can work on the mindset and the permission, which is primarily coaching, as well as some cultural aspects of an organization to get the hamster off the wheel. There's a lot of permission. There's a lot of self-agency. There's some
mm,
tools. Some of the ways we've historically approached wellness has been to get the hamster off the wheel. But the problem is if we don't fix the wheel, if we
right.
don't fix the workflow structures and we don't fix the unmanageable workloads, or if we don't fix the system structures that are keeping us stuck, that hamster's just going to get right back on that wheel.
Yeah.
And if we look at that, right, one of my favorite authors, I don't know if you ever look at the work of Aki Ito with Business
Oh,
Insider.
now I
She
need
wrote
to.
a, oh, I'll send you the info afterwards,
Thank
and you
you.
can post it for your audience too. But
Awesome.
yeah, it's so good. She did a really great article back in, I think it was January or February of this year, on loyalty and the end of employee loyalty.
Mm,
Yeah, and she got such a good response from it. She actually had to write a second follow-up article.
yeah.
So I'll send you those, but she talks a little bit about this importance of, how do we really systemically support ourselves? Businesses are very different now than they were 20 years ago, and employees are responding to them very differently as well.
Yeah.
So going back to your question, at the organizational level, we really need to work both the education and the mindset piece around helping the hamster get off the wheel.
Yep.
And then we need to embed this work into our systems and into our structures.